I'm Mara O'Leary. Joining me today is State Representative Tom Murt of the 152nd District in Philadelphia and Montgomery counties. Representative Murt has been a member of the State House since 2007. One of the issues that he has continued to advocate for is improving the mental health system in the Commonwealth. Representative Murt, thank you for joining me today to discuss these issues. So, it is clear from your legislative history that you are passionate about protecting the rights of individuals with mental health in Pennsylvania. What ignited this passion?
Mara, there are not too many families across Pennsylvania that have not been impacted either directly or indirectly through with a mental illness, either a family member or a loved one or a neighbor or someone in their church community or in their geographic community. There are many Pennsylvanians that are struggling with bipolar, depression, post-traumatic stress, and this is especially true with so many of our soldiers, our National Guardsmen, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen that have returned from deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. So these are all issues that are very real to many families across Pennsylvania.
So are you currently working on any legislation involving mental health in the House?
One of the most significant pieces of legislation at the current time is House Bill 1233, which is now in the Senate. This is legislation that recently was passed unanimously through the House of Representatives after quite a bit of discussion and some amendments. So this is one of the most exciting pieces of legislation, and we believe that this legislation will make a great deal of difference in helping our constituents and our family members that struggle with mental illness.
So House Bill 1233 will provide assistant outpatient treatment, or AOT. In a practical sense, what will this AOT look like?
That's an excellent question. At the present time, Mara, in order to force or compel someone to get assistance for a mental illness, to commit them, if you will, through what's called a 302 process. The standard for inpatient commitment and outpatient commitment is the same. And that standard is that the individual must be in clear and present danger of injuring themselves or hurting another person. This is a pretty serious step because you are actually taking away someone's civil liberties. You're actually remanding this person to a psychiatric hospital in a locked unit until the person can be medically stabilized and return to their family or to their prior living arrangements. And we have found that this is not working. And it's not working because on the outpatient side, where the standard is the same as it is for the inpatient side, there are many people who could benefit from an outpatient commitment. And House Bill 1233 actually proposes to change the outpatient commitment. We don't like to say that the outpatient standard is going to be lower, but it will be different. And there are many people that struggle with mental illness. Bipolar is one that frequently requires the intervention of law enforcement, of a police officer to come to your home or come to your apartment. And many of these individuals that struggle with a mental illness live with a loving and a supportive family. They have a very good family situation, and it's just that they probably should stay there. But the fact is that they should be seeing a counselor or a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a nurse practitioner, possibly on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, sometimes more than that, until the individual can be stabilized. The assisted outpatient treatment legislation changes the standard from what it is at the present time, where it's the clear and present danger standard, to something that's a little bit different. If someone has a history of not complying with the directives of their doctor and so forth, they can be brought before a judge under the new law, and the judge can say, I want you to stay at home. You're living in a safe environment with your family. We want you to stay there. But we want you to see a therapist twice a week, and I want to see you back here in 1 month so we can make sure that your situation is stable and so forth. I will tell you this. Many other states have already moved down this path. They have already embraced assisted outpatient treatment, and many of individuals that live in these states that are suffering or struggling with mental illness are well on the road to recovery.
Okay. So speaking of the clear and present danger portion of the bill, House Bill 1233 will be an amendment of the Mental Health Procedures Act of the 1970s. Could you explain the clear and present danger standard in the bill, and why is it being kept in this current bill?
That's another very good question, and this is something we're very concerned about. And we're concerned about it because a commitment or a 302 commitment where a person with a mental illness is actually physically taken to a psychiatric ward in a hospital in a locked unit is a very serious action. It is essentially denying someone of some of their civil liberties, but it's done in the spirit of public health and safety. And we believe that our legislation, House Bill 1233, will allow someone with a mental illness to be treated in the least restrictive environment, whether it's a family or a doctor's office or what have you. Mm-hmm. But your question was about changing this Mental Health Procedures Act, and we do this very, very carefully. We know that this is a very delicate balance between honoring and respecting someone's civil liberties and also making sure that someone who is struggling with a serious mental illness is able to get help and we're able to support their family.
So Representative Murt, to finish up, regarding Pennsylvania's current state financially, will your proposal put an undue financial burden on counties and municipalities?
That's a very good concern, and it's a legitimate concern. And the answer is no. This is not a mandate. This is actually just providing another tool to various counties across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania so that if a judge, if a county, if a mental health court wants to utilize this assistant outpatient treatment, that they are able to do so. We do not compel anyone to do it. We do not require anyone to provide additional therapies or resources or anything like that. Essentially what we're doing is just providing another tool for people who are struggling with mental illness to get well and to be on the road to recovery.
Thank you very much, Representative Murt, for joining me today to talk about this important topic.